Chapter 1. A calling. Emily stood at the threshold of the hospital room, her heart pounding in her chest. She had been anticipating this moment for months, her year-long residency in spiritual care finally beginning. She had always felt a calling to serve others, to provide comfort and support to those in need. And she believed that her faith could be a powerful tool in helping people heal. Emily took a deep breath and stepped into the room. A man lay in the bed, his face pale and drawn, his eyes closed. His wife sat beside him, her hand gently resting on his arm. Emily approached them cautiously, not wanting to intrude on their private moment. "Hello," she said softly. "I'm Emily, the chaplain. I'm here to offer you support and spiritual care if you would like." The man's eyes fluttered open, and he looked at Emily with a weary smile. "Thank you," he said hoarsely. "I'm John, and this is my wife, Mary." Emily sat down in a chair beside the bed and began to talk to John and Mary. She listened to their story, their fears and hopes, their dreams and regrets. She offered words of comfort and encouragement, and she prayed with them for strength and healing. As Emily talked to John and Mary, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that she was where she was meant to be, doing what she was meant to do. She was making a difference in people's lives, and that was all that mattered. Chapter 2. Doubts. As the weeks turned into months, Emily began to experience some doubts about her chosen path. She found it increasingly difficult to deal with the suffering she witnessed on a daily basis. The pain and loss she saw were overwhelming at times, and she began to question her ability to make a difference. One day, Emily was called to the bedside of a young boy who was dying of cancer. The boy was in terrible pain, and his parents were distraught. Emily tried to comfort them, but she felt helpless and inadequate. "Why is this happening?" the boy's mother cried. "Why is God taking my son away from me?" Emily didn't have an answer for her. She could only offer her sympathy and support. But inside, she was struggling with her own faith. Chapter 3. Rediscovery. Emily spent the next few weeks in a state of turmoil. She questioned her beliefs, her purpose, and her future. She felt lost and alone, and she didn't know where to turn. One day, Emily decided to take a walk in the woods. She had always found solace in nature, and she hoped that it would help her to clear her head. As she walked, she began to think about her own life. She thought about the people she loved, the things she was grateful for, and the dreams she held for the future. And then, in a moment of clarity, she realized that she had never lost her faith. She had simply lost sight of it. She had been so focused on the darkness in the world that she had forgotten about the light. Emily stopped walking and looked up at the sky. The sun was shining brightly, and the birds were singing. She took a deep breath and felt a surge of hope. "Thank you, God," she whispered. "Thank you for never giving up on me." Emily knew that she still had a lot to learn. But she also knew that she was on the right path. She was ready to face the challenges ahead with renewed faith and hope. Chapter 4. Embracing the journey. Emily returned to her work with a renewed sense of purpose. She was no longer afraid of the suffering she witnessed. Instead, she saw it as an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. Emily became a beacon of hope for the patients and staff at the hospital. She listened to their stories, offered words of comfort and encouragement, and prayed with them for strength and healing. She made a difference in their lives, and they made a difference in hers. Emily learned that she didn't need to have all the answers to be a good chaplain. She just needed to be present, to listen, and to love. She learned that her faith was not about avoiding suffering, but about finding strength and hope in the midst of it. Emily's year-long residency in spiritual care was a transformative experience. She learned more about herself, about her faith, and about the human condition than she ever could have imagined. She discovered